Okay. We should be up and going. Let me make sure that's... maybe caught up. Yeah, we should be... yeah, we're up. Okay, we're all good. Yeah, professional production here. Cool. Okay. Yeah, welcome everyone. It's the day. It's finally here. PS5 Pro. It's one of the hardware things of the year that's... I don't know. I'm excited for, but I'm also a little bit... I'm not sure if I'm going to be picking this up. You know. Good afternoon, Kieran. Good afternoon, Russell Bland. Good afternoon, Ice Bjorn. Okay, what are we saying? Not excited for this, but let's have a wee look anyway. I'm in the same boat a little bit. I'm excited for... I'm a big hardware guy. Also, let me know if the audio is okay on your end. I think it should be, because it's similar to last time. But we'll see how we go. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited as a hardware enthusiast. I really like seeing new tech. I like new shiny things, and this is gonna be that. But as a consumer and somebody who likes PlayStation, I'm happy with my PS5 at the moment, for VR especially. If there's not gonna be any big VR leaps here, and I doubt they'd really talk about VR here. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think they're gonna talk about VR very much. But if they do, that would get me excited. But yeah, I'm the same boat as you, where I'm not really looking to buy one unless there's a big leap, like a really big leap. And I think for some games, like for example Space Marine 2 just came out, that dips a little on PS5. I think they can get that sorted with patches, but if they can't, PS5 Pro would be something where it'd be like, okay, with the extra boost in hardware, that would be good. But overall, it's not something I'm really clamoring for at the moment. Price guess is between 600 and 700, hoping it's less. It could be. I think I won't speak of any of the leaks at the moment. The funny thing is, at 4 p.m. My video is going live about the PS5 Pro and everything we know about it, and that includes a lot of information that's been leaked from this showcase. There will be other stuff, I think, here as well that we haven't seen yet, but most of the stuff in the video today is going to be from that, so we can go out at 4 at the usual time. So I won't talk about any of that. I won't spoil it for anyone here, you know, before we actually watch the thing, because what's the point of watching the thing if I just sit here and go, here's the price, here's the specs, whatever. But I think that's probably a reasonable guess. I don't think they'd price too high on the end of that spectrum, because at some point they're going to price themselves out of the market really in terms of consoles, because I think a lot of companies have made the mistake of putting prices too high. We saw it in the Xbox One era and PS4 era. Sony had the upper hand because the price was better, and I think Sony kind of know their boundaries, but they could go crazy. They could make this thing very powerful and be like £700. I hope not, though, for the sake of the console ecosystem. I hope not. Pure guesswork on my part. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's what we can do at the moment, is guess. Hello, Yokos Gaming. Hello, Piosco. Familiar names. Aurelius Openshaw Klenner. You're a new name. Hello. Wondering if I'll be enticed to trade in the PS5 for it. How much do you get for a PS5 nowadays? I say nowadays. It's only been a couple years since it's come out, like 3-4 years, but I actually haven't looked into it. It might be worth, you know, if you can get a good couple £100 or dollars off. If you really want the enhancements that they show from today's show, maybe that's a really good idea. I will say, though, this presentation is only going to be like 10 minutes at most, I think. And then there's something else coming PlayStation related soon that's going to kind of lead on from this. So I wouldn't expect anything massive game-wise from here. I wouldn't even expect anything massive in this month in terms of first-party games or anything like that. I don't think that's really happening. But we'll see what we get here. It's mostly going to be a hardware reveal, but it's weird that it's so short, because the original PS5 hardware reveal was about an hour long. But I guess when you're iterating upon something like this, it's not going to be as big as of a jump, really. Aside from, like, you know, they're unveiling a whole new concept of a console with a whole new look with the original PS5. I look over here because my PS5's there. I know you guys can't see that. But yeah. So, yeah. We'll see. I'm a bit confused by why this is so short, though. Maybe they haven't got much to say. Maybe this will be really, really disappointing. Who knows? Hey, Wicked Racer. PS5 base model just went up in price in Japan. I saw that. That was quite not sneaky of Sony. I think Japan's like market, it's its price in the yen is not doing too great right now as well, I think. I've got a relative who lives in Japan, so that's my source. But yeah, we'll see. It's YoFake Parent. I changed my Gmail to be professional for work. Oh, hello. Okay, I do recognize you now. You're not a new name. Well, you're a new name now, but you weren't before. Spill the beans. Needeth the beans. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. All will be revealed. I think the price point, though, will not be into like the 700s is all I'll say right now. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I would love for them in this showcase to be like, we're going to get 90 unreprojected, Horizon Call the Mountain, GT7, Resi 4, Resi 8. I'd love them to go into depth with that. I think the most we'll get out of something like this would be just PSVR2 improvements or enhancements or something like that. That's the closest I think we'd get. I don't think we're going to get something absolutely huge where it's going to be like, look at this, there's bloody 120 FPS and they go really in depth of everything going on. I think if there is any mention of PSVR2, it's just going to be something small, if anything at all, because we've seen that Sony do not like to talk about PSVR2 aside from that massive sale that happened. They had a big push then. But aside from that, it's like, their marketing strategy is like a non-strategy sometimes. So, yeah, who knows. Hello, Spencer Drake. It's another live stream. Yeah, how long has it been? It's been, I think the last one was the 15th. We're coming up on it soon. But I don't really do live streams very often. I've started to do them a bit more because I need to get more comfortable with live streaming. I'm alright being on shows with other people, like Without Parole was good. Every time I go on there, I'm really, into it. But when I'm on my own, it's a little more daunting. But I'm getting used to it. It's good fun. And I think we're either going to do another live stream next week for the follow-up event to this, because I think there should be one, if the leaks are right. Or we'll join Parole or something like that if they will have me again and if they're doing anything for it. But if not, we'll be here because it's great having everyone together again for these events. It also makes the community feel pretty great. So yeah, everyone comes together. We have a whole little live talk, which is something I don't really get to do. That's another thing with live streaming I think is pretty wonderful. You better spill the beans, Buster, or you'll do a long stretch in the can. Sorry. Yeah, nah. We're 30 minutes to go. We haven't got long. And let me move myself. There you go. 30 minutes to go. I'll put myself up here. Oh wow, I'm up here now. Strange. Doomslight82. Do you enjoy James on the Quest 3? Games on the Quest 3, more like. And which games? I've used Quest 3. I don't own one. But I've used it. Pancake lenses. Very, very good, by the way, on that headset. I played Blade and Sorcery Nomad on Quest 3. I played Red Matter 2 on Quest 3, which are fantastic. We do have a Quest 2 here that I've used a few times. But to be honest, even on the Quest 2, it was basically just plugging it into a PC and using it like that. It was the occasional Quest 2 game. But yeah, mostly just through PC. But they are really good headsets. I mean, all of my PC VR content in like 2020... What year? I don't know what year it is. 2022, I want to say. The end of 2022 until 2023 when the PSVR 2 came out. That is... like all that content was recorded on Quest, Fantastic little headset. The Quest 3 itself is pretty great. Good piece of hardware. Excited for the Quest 3S as well. Going to see where they go with that. It's Fresnel lenses again, but the controllers are great on Quest, and I hope they retain that for the new cheaper one that's coming out. Getting a PC soon. Any good VR Steam games to add to a wish list? Oh, I could give you many VR Steam games. Yeah, the Cinema Room app, Big Screen Beyond, fantastic. Honestly, so cool. I use that to watch a lot of stuff. I was watching, what was I watching the other day? I was watching Rings of Power, the Amazon Prime show, and there were some scenes in that which were really dark on our LCD TVs, and I went and rewatched the episode afterwards in Big Screen, the Big Screen app on Steam VR on the PSVR 2, and the OLED made it look so much more visible. It was really cool, so I recommend that. VTOL VR is really cool. Into the Radius, don't get on Steam if you've already got a PS5 and PSVR 2, because that is coming out soon. I can't say anything, but hang on. Just wait. Half-Life Alyx, of course, a no-brainer. Fantastic game. Blade and Sorcery is so moddable. Basically, I'm still on the old version of Blade and Sorcery. I mean, it's a video on that, why I'm still on it. Because the mods for U12, I think it's called, the Blade and Sorcery previous version, are so good. Like Star Wars, the Outer Rim mod is incredible. There's some Helldiver stuff, some Halo stuff, like loads of weapons from all sorts, you know, Warhammer weapons, stuff like that. Yeah, so Blade and Sorcery's got to be up there. These are very generic suggestions, but they're the big hitters for a reason. They're the ones that people know about for a reason, and that is because, yeah, they're just bloody fantastic. Batman looks so awesome. It does. The only thing that was kind of throwing me off a little bit was the combat. It seems kind of like timed strangely. But from the latest press release, it looks a lot better there than it did in the original, like screenshots and stuff. I'm more on board with it now. But honestly, it's like an Arkham game. It looks so sick. The grappling, the moving around as Batman, the fighting, looks really good. And then that Hitman game came out the other day that just didn't hit, I don't think, for what people are saying. It really wasn't great. So hopefully Batman really knocks out of the park. And the previews seem to be very good. Do you think it's worth buying a PS5 Pro for PSVR2 instead of a standard PS5? If you don't have a PS5, and this comes in at a price that you're happy with, yes, I would say. Because honestly, I think, I don't know, actually. I'll say that. Of course, more horsepower is more horsepower for your hardware, you know? So with say games like No Man's Sky, I'm sure there's going to be some improvements that, like, they might not even put in the patch notes for the game that will just make it will run better because of there's more power behind that hardware with the PS5 Pro. But I would wait to see if there are any specific enhancements for the headset, because if there isn't anything massive and you're going to be getting the same reprojected Horizon Call the Mountain GT7 on the PS5 Pro that's the same as the original, just go with the original, to be honest. But if there are improvements, which might not be revealed today, it might be over time, we'll see, then maybe consider getting the Pro. But it depends if you flat screen game as well, because you'll be getting a lot of enhancements on that side of things for this as well too. So it's a bit of a strange one. I think I'll be able to give you a better verdict after this little show, like 10-minute show, is done. What are we saying? We need more VR superhero games. Yes, we do. Heavy Metal Game Cat. Yes, we do. It's a void that shouldn't be a void. You know, it should be something that's just there all the time. Being new games being brought in, like I think of PlayStation alone. We got Spider-Man, Wolverine coming out. There's been a couple of others released recently that I can't remember. Suicide Squad, even though that game wasn't great. Imagine that in VR. You all have a different character. There's just constant VR flat games, superhero flat games that are coming out that have great ideas behind them, and I think they would work great in VR. And so many IPs that just, yeah. So it's such a missed opportunity, man. But hopefully we'll get some more. And I mean, Batman's a good start, very good start. Disappointed with Hitman. I refunded it. That is fair from what I've seen. What do you mean Hitman? The Quest 3. I think it was Quest 3 exclusive. There's a Hitman game that came out the other day, and it wasn't very good. 19th Into the Radius. Looking forward to it. Do look forward to it. It's a great game on Steam. Let me put it that way. I can't talk about the PSVR2 version yet, but it's a great game on Steam. Hoping the PS5 Pro helps with Vertigo 2. As am I, really. I revisited that game and the performance is worse than launch. Hence why in our last tier list I brought it down from S to A, because it genuinely does impact the experience a bit now. That game was in the running for my 2024 VR Game of the Year. When I first played it, I was like, that's just fantastic for PSVR2 games. But the performance now in certain areas is pretty rough. It's not unplayable if you're okay with motion sickness, but it's still, it's tough. What I missed? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Not started yet. We've just been yapping about VR and PSVR2. GameCat's in the house. Hello. Thank you for your support. Much love to Brian as well, if he ever sees this, which he probably won't. But hello, Brian, and Miles and Wes, and everyone on Gamescast. Fantastic people. Thanks for the input. No worries. There's some good Steam VR games we talked about before. Have you done a VR video on Phasmophobia? Not yet. I'm a bit torn on that because part of me wants to try it with the PC adapter on PC VR with PSVR 2. But part of me just wants to wait until the PSVR 2 release now that we're so close. It's going to be like a month and a bit away now. I feel like it's just worth waiting for that. If it's something that you guys really want to see, I could definitely go and do that. But I think it would be... It's something that's happened throughout like the last couple of months, is that because there have been less VR multiplayer games coming out. Oh, hello. I can swap over. and also increase the resolution on this because that is now a literal dog shit. There we go. But yeah, it's like we need more VR multiplayer games, and I miss recording those big VR multiplayer games like Pavlov and all that, because those games kind of run their course a little bit. And I think Phasmophobia is really going to come in at a good time there, and we're going to get a lot of people together. So I'm hopefully, I think I might just wait until the PSVR2 version, but I'm excited for it. I really am. Are you going back to Gamescast anytime soon? If they'll have me, absolutely. You know, I don't want to go in and pester Brian, being like, please. But it's just a fantastic time every time we go on there. Like the amount of support. Brian is just fantastic host as well. Even back when the first time I went on, I had no idea what I was doing. He was just like, okay, this is the format of the show. We're going through it, and just relax. But yeah, I'd love to go back on. You make it sound like Into the Radius on PS5 has problems or isn't good. I really hope not. That's not what I'm saying, don't worry. I just can't talk about the quality of the PSVR2 version of the game. But the game is fantastic on Steam, like, and on Quest. So it's a fantastic core game. If they get the port right, then it's a no-brainer buy. You will be hearing my impressions of it before the game comes out, which is always a good sign with developers in VR. So just, yeah, look forward to those reviews. I'm excited to talk about it. But yeah, anyway, sidetracked a little bit. Going back to Gamescast, yeah, I'd love to. If there's rumored an event after this coming next week, if that's on and I'm available, I'd love to jump back in and do a Gamescast for that. But yeah. Could be a fun video, Phasmophobia, but wait for PS2 version. Yeah, I think that's the play at this point. I've left it long enough. You make it sound like Into the... Oh, we've already said that. My brain's fried. Countdown timer started. It has. We're almost there now. Hey, Jamie, which of the upcoming PS2 games are you most looking forward to? Oh, good question, Pete Neon. There's a couple. Metro is one because I love the franchise. Behemoth is one because the hands-on with that was fantastic, and I think it looks great, and Skydance are a good studio. There are others, Phasmophobia. Aliens, I'm a little bit less so because it's a little confusing as to what the gameplay loop is in terms of whether it's a campaign or whether it's missions or something, but that looks good visually and gameplay-wise. And then in terms of other stuff that's not PSVR2, I know the question was PSVR2, but my brain gets invaded. My most hyped game of the year, Flat, just came out. That's Space Marine. That's been and gone. Well, it's around now, but the release has been and gone. Microsoft Flight Simulator, the new one, is confirmed VR support. That's going to be awesome. I really hope. There was rumors of Flight Sim coming to PS5, and I just hope they had a VR mode for that, but it's not been in any of the supposed leaks, so I don't know. But yeah, Behemoth and Alien and Metro are big ones, and Phasmophobia. When I was checking the PSVR2 store the other day, I see there's just an announced PSVR2 game called I Am Cat. From the screenshots, actually looks pretty fun. Yeah, that one's been on Quest, I think, in PCVR, and it's like, it literally is just that. You're a cat, and you go around knocking over things. It's sold massively well on Quest, and I think it will probably sell quite well on Steam as well. On Steam, PCVR, PSVR2. I'm actually losing my mind right now. Hello Games with T, fantastic creator right there. Go and subscribe to Games with T. We love Games with T. So excited for Behemoth and Alien. End of the year is gonna be fire. It is, and if we're going from like that Metro screenshot, it seems like the release date could be near Behemoth. Behemoth's November 14th, if I remember right. Don't know about Alien, I can't remember. I think it might be December. But there's a couple of indies between now and then that I'm excited for. Oh, Wanderer as well is coming out. There's a couple of indies between now and then that thankfully are coming out now, so they get a bit of limelight on them before everything gets smothered by these big hitters at the end. Blink 3 times if done enough to fear anything for the Into the Radius PSVR2 port. Just wait and see. Minecraft announced a native PS5 version coming soon. PSVR2 would be a dream. It really would. I don't know if Microsoft care or Mojang care. I forget which way around. The ownership's Microsoft, but I don't know who makes decisions really. I'm assuming Microsoft have a say over things, but I don't think they'd maliciously go, oh no, don't do a PSVR2 port. I think it'd more just be like, don't invest in VR at the moment, I guess, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I think that's a slim chance. It's not impossible. The first VR port of Minecraft on PSVR came out of nowhere, so maybe. That'd be awesome though. Oh yep, Jamie, this should be interesting. It should be interesting. I'm intrigued as to what their selling point of this console is. If it's just more power and that's it. I'm not sure if it's going to sell massively well, but again, it's PlayStation, big brand. It kind of always sells well for stuff, even the Portal, which I didn't think looked amazing, but turned out to be a pretty solid handheld for streaming. Did very well. Your thoughts? Do you think the PC adapter is Sony giving up on VR2 and letting third-party take over like the Vita? Or do you think Sony might have another first-party IP game for VR? Your honest gut feeling? I think there's probably one or two in the works, is my gut feeling. Obviously, VR isn't at the time now where it's huge. It's still growing in the coming years. I think Sony will bring out more headsets in terms of like the next console generation. But at the moment, I think they're just kind of sitting and waiting, and development times are so long nowadays that it might be a little while until we hear anything. But I do think as long as we're still getting PSVR2 games featured at State of Plays, which we seem to every time, at least one or two, then I'm happy. So my gut feeling is that we have one or two bigger games from Sony in the works. So that's my gut feeling, though. I've got no evidence, 100% faith, and no backing for that at all. So many potentially great games coming out soon. There are. Honestly, end of the year is always massive. Summer's very quiet because people don't really play VR that much. You know, they're going outside and all that. But, and it's very hot as well in most countries in the summer. And for countries that don't have AC, yeah, it's tough. Thoughts on Rad TV? Not heard great things. The devs were like, there's going to be 3D movie support, and then it came out and there wasn't, and now there is, and it's just been a bit of a mess. And the whole crypto thing, I'm a bit confused on. I'm willing to give it a go, though, and it's better than nothing, as Russell Bland has said. It is better than nothing, but apparently the quality of the initial videos you get with it is not great. It's like 240p type shit, so yeah. We need a YouTube app. We do. That's one of the things that, like, even just normal 360 videos on YouTube, why are they not compatible with PSVR 2? I couldn't tell you. Quality was rough for Rad TV, but glad to see VR video support of some form. Exactly. It's one company getting their foot in the door, and if that leads to any others, like Big Screen getting in there, I mean, color me excited, because my dream would just be to have Big Screen support on PSVR 2, because that on PC is fantastic. And I don't really see why they couldn't. It could literally just mirror your console screen into a big environment like that, which I don't know how that would work logistically with the hardware. I don't know if you can kind of loop it back on itself so it mirrors that while in an app. But yeah, who knows? I'm not sure if it's on their plans. It might be on their plans, to be honest. But yeah, I've really enjoyed Big Screen. Rad TV, not sure. Not heard great things, but I'll have to give it a go at some point. It's also, is it subscription based? I feel like the premium subscription based. Love watching horror movies in the cinema mode, but wish there was more video support. Yeah, like even 3D movies were on the original PSVR, and the PSVR 2 doesn't have them, which is just confusing to me. But I mean, yeah, it's not seen to be a priority for Sony. I mean, Sony are looking at more video-centric stuff in general. One of the big leaks here for the PS5 Pro is Dolby Vision support, and I think a little bit higher quality for like Blu-rays and stuff. So maybe that bodes well with the new leadership focusing on stuff like that. Maybe PSVR 2 could get some bumps up, who knows. Summer here in Ireland was super wet, bad for my tan, good for VR gaming. I'm very jealous of that. It was quite hot here. It was really on off. It was like 5 days are hot, 3 days are cold, 6 days are hot, 2 days are cold. Rough. But yeah, and then I went away for a bit, and that was very hot, but good. And I'm back feeling energized. Rad devs apparently ban anyone on Discord that questions or critiques their weird approach. Really? That's tough, man. Yeah, not a fan of that. That's a red, not a big red flag, it's a red siren. We are starting. Let me get rid of our lo-fi hip hop. All right, you ready, guys?
I'm excited to be here to talk about
Hello,
the
Mark.
newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5.
No subtitles, sorry.
And how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
Okay. That jump scared me. I didn't expect it to start.
When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds.
No lie.
and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU.
Yeah, it's half the showcase going to be talking about the
details,
PS5 louder. Yep.
fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore.
Okay.
Ray
we're up a
tracing
bit.
allows for
Is that all right?
dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially
That moment
unlimited.
was sick. And Spider-Man 2. Is that good? Okay. Good.
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so
3D audio
real,
on
you may
PS5
not
is
even need to see
fantastic.
the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance.
Okay, here we go.
The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players.
Should we get both? Best of both
Fidelity
worlds?
modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved.
We're getting like a digital Foundry breakdown here, you know?
When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro.
Awesome.
We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3.
Okay.
First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster.
Good improvement.
Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short.
Okay.
PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles. And
Good.
with the big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
It's interesting, yeah, they basically made
Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on
There are only
PS5,
no DLSS
which is only
FSR
running
type
at
thing.
30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
Don't stop! We gotta lose.
I just
This
wish we had
goal of
some
delivering
big
almost
first parties to show
fidelity-like
here.
graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per
Not
second.
120. Yeah.
What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
it's a
For this,
big
my
jump.
favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars.
Good improvements.
So
Talk about VR
overall,
now.
some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value.
How far are we in so far?
As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library
About 5 minutes.
is being
Halfway
used
through.
quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the
What a
detail
beautiful looking
boost,
game
that
that is,
extra
by the way.
graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference,
I'm saying
allowing Gran
Oh, Gran
Turismo
Turismo
7
7
to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay,
oh, that's cool.
while continuing to support
Oh,
their
that's
targeted
cool.
60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering
That's
big wins for
fantastic.
Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts with the shadows and
I hope
reflections
you've
there.
enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro.
else
Simply
we got?
put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
You'll never
Side by sides look the same to me. They're quite like they're small improvements, especially when you're looking at them through a stream like this. If my Wi-Fi was better, I could do it in 4K. But it's basically just the little details now look a lot sharper in the distance, especially. I mean, these are all games we've seen before, but let it play through. But I don't know. I feel like we need something hardware related outside of the console. There were rumors about an enhanced DualSense, which, that being said, my video about the PS5 Pro just went live about 10 minutes ago. If you want to go watch that afterwards, it's a bit of a wrap up. But that included a lot of details that aren't in this that might be in a blog post. So I'm going to bring up the blog post after this and see if there's anything else listed. That's the Crew Motorfest right there. That would be cool to play in fidelity mode at 60 FPS. Yeah, that shot of Hogwarts Legacy with the reflections from the stained glass window was really good. If your TV can't do 4K 120, does this really matter that much? Not, I don't know. 120. Oh, fucking hell. Mind my language, that is expensive. Huh? Oh, is that the disc version, or is there only one they just advertised? Yeah. Mad. Okay, so that leak was a little bit off that we got. That today's video was on. Most of the stuff is on point for that. But I'm just gonna have a quick look at PS Blog to see what else they're saying. But that is expensive, more expensive than the leak said that we covered today. £700 for no disc drive is kind of nuts. Have we got anything? The last post was about Team Asobi. What are we thinking, guys? 700 is a lot, man. It's a lot. £700 is price, especially £700. It's been like 600. I said before the stream started, or we got really properly into this. Let me let this play through again, just on mute for you guys. I thought before this started, we wouldn't be, you know, we wouldn't be anywhere near that price range. But you were right, Russell Bland. Fucking hell, you can get a good PC for that money. That, granted, it won't be as optimized as something like this, but good lord, yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Loose reviews. You can get a good PC for that kind of money, man. No disk drive as well. Fucking hell. I'm looking at my. Yeah, we need to see how it works on PSVR2 first. There's literally no mention of PSVR2 here. I wasn't expecting much, but yeah. Interesting. We've got the blog post about the live stream, but nothing blog post about the console yet. I'm assuming that'll be coming soon, but really, really confusing stuff. Yeah, I'm just seeing everyone saying £700 is too much. I'd be losing my disc copy games too. Exactly. You'd have to buy a disc drive, an extra like £80 on top of that. You're getting close to €800 or £800. That's a lot, man. That's too much. That is. I was planning to give my old PS5 to my nephew. Now I might need it for trading. Yeah, fuck, Jesus. Like the hardware's expensive, you know. I get that. It really is. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting any talk of PSVR2 here in this showcase or in this little technical showcase. But good lord, that price is just absolutely blowing me away. Yeah, I'm just looking through Twitter right now as well. People are not the happiest. Okay, so some PS5 refurbished units have gone up for a little bit less price. If that's something you're interested in. It'll still sell out as well. Yeah, 100% Sun WTF. It will sell out. Ah, here we go. Okay, the blog post is out, guys, so I will bring that up for you. Let's get rid of that. You can see my messy home screen. Here we are. So, yapping about things. The big three they're talking about. No Russian Etmo, no VR mention. Yeah. For £700, throwing a PSVR 2 with it. My God, yeah. High frame rates. Okay. PS5 Pro game boost, which can apply to more than 8,500 backwards compatible PS4 games. Playable on PS4 PS5 Pro. This feature may stabilize or improve the performance of selected PS4 and PS5 games, enhance image quality for PS4, VR and 8K gaming. At what point is... I mean, more pixels is good, and more pixels is more pixels, but bloody hell. A lot of mentions about games. I'm scanning for any mention of PSVR 2. Yeah, so you can add Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive or swap out console covers. Are we going to get a photo with the disc drive? Yeah, so this is it with the disc drive added. You can buy the disc drive. I'm assuming they will sell a bundle with the disc drive. There you go. Fits within the family of stuff. Ray tracing in GT7 looks good. It does look fantastic. And I wish that was in the VR version. I'm not sure if it will be. So yeah. Bloody hell, £700 is a lot. It'll include a 2TB SSD, a DualSense wireless controller, and a copy of Astro's Playroom. Oh, wow, great. Yeah, so what I will do, actually... that video's just gone live about the Pro. But I think what I will do is take that down for now, because some of that, one, is not 100% accurate, and then I will set that back up for you guys, because yeah, a bit much, a bit off. So that video will be back up fairly soon, but just wait for that. So I'll have a video breaking down all of this afterwards. But bloody hell, use from Best Buy as an open box item is my plan. Yeah. Yeah, good lord, guys. Pre-orders beginning in 16 days. I don't see the buying incentive. Am I right? Do you guys feel the same? Maybe you don't. I don't know about storage. It says, I'm not sure if they have any mention of storage. It might be up to a terabyte now. I don't know. Unless I'm blind, I'm not seeing any reference to storage here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm stupid. There you go. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, it is 2 terabytes. That's a lot. I saved 250 on my RG Ally buying from an open box. Clayton Young, question for you. How are you finding your RG Ally? I was very much looking towards getting one. Maybe. How are you finding that? But yeah, 2 terabytes is a lot, you know? That's a lot of expensive piece of storage hardware. DualSense wireless controller, copy of Astro's Player. I mean, it's all just like fluff, it feels like, some of this. But like, even if some of the PSVR2 games were not reprojected, I don't know if they'd really make a big deal about it here. Surely they could have knocked the price down with a 1 terabyte version. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was interesting. It's, yeah, 770 with the disk drive. Good lord. Yeah, final check of the room. How are we feeling after that? I'm a little bit stunned at how expensive it is. But yeah, we'll wrap up the stream. Thank you all for joining. How are we all feeling? This is about what I expected, to be honest. But that's expensive. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. My PC was just a little bit more expensive than that. All the parts. Like, yeah. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, bloody, just, what weird times we live in when we've got an almost £1,000 PlayStation. But yeah, for the stuff that's in it, the price is fair. Like, I can understand where the money is going, but for the results I get from it, yeah, it's not really enough. Your guesswork was really good, Russell Plan. Your guesswork was on point. Unfortunately. More live streams. We'll do some more. There was meant to be an announcement for a state of play after this, but I see no word of it. So maybe we'll get an announcement next week, or maybe there will be none. I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. It's been fantastic as always. And if there is another announcement about, you know, a live stream about a state of play, we'll do one more. So yeah, law of diminishing returns. Exactly. Lose reviews. Exactly. But yeah, thank you all for joining. And I'll get to work on a video about this that'll be up probably within about an hour and a half, I'd say. I'll try and be fast, you know. So, high chance he's supposed to have decided after the Concord flop. Anyway, on that note, I'll catch you guys later, so bye-bye.